Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new PrizePicks on 5. So it's actually the official self-proclaimed best show ever from PrizePicks. I don't know if y'all heard. It's a thing, so check it out. Tonight we got Game 3 of the NBA Finals, Suns-Bucks in Milwaukee. Sorry, it's 2-0 after Giannis went nuclear, and it's we're about to see what's going to happen with the rest of the series tonight. I'm joined today, Dave Eversole, my guy, and we got special guests joining us. It's Jakari Givens and Greg Sylvander. What's going on, guys?
What's up, man?
What's up?
Happy to be here.
So we got extra guys. We're subbing out Ethan today with some technical no, he was okay. He's just got some stuff going on. So we're going to jump in here. We're going to each give you our prized pick. Yes, that's what we're doing. We're giving you our prize pick, and then we'll jump into some other guys that we all like. But we'll start there. So let's jump in. We're going to start off with our guests. I think Jakari bailed on us for a second, but we'll start off with Greg.
Yes,
what you got,
sir.
Greg?
So there's a few different ones that I was throwing around here, but I kind of landed on Brook Lopez over 5.5 rebounds. And I think that, initially it was kind of counterintuitive for me to go in that direction because Brook Lopez isn't necessarily a great rebounder, but they've been finding ways to keep him on the floor. And I just feel like tonight is a night where Milwaukee will be desperate and they're going to keep all of their key pieces on the floor as much as possible. So I think Lopez over 6 boards. He's trended in that direction if you look over the last 5 or 6 games. So I think that is a pretty safe pick. There could be some low-hanging fruit that is a little bit easier to point out than Brook Lopez at 5.5 rebounds, but I'm giving you guys a prized pick that you wouldn't find elsewhere.
It's prized.
Yeah, and you look at the numbers here, like you said, Greg, 4 out of the last 5. He's been over 5.5 boards, and close to it. Like you said, they're going to have all hands on deck. He's probably going to get some big minutes. So that's definitely a solid pick, I think.
All right, Jakari, what you got, man? Now you're back with us now. What's your prize pick for Game 3 here?
I got Chris Middleton over 25.5 points. I just think he has to play. He has to always be the best player on the court for them to win. You guys seen the last game, Giannis went crazy, and it had no effect. They still lost by, I think about 10 points or maybe more, if I'm not mistaken. So I think that you have to – I think Middleton – coming off the 11-point game, will go nuclear and have 26 points, 27 points. Just because that's how he's been all postseason. He plays bad, comes back with strong games, and I don't think they have anybody who can check him like that. So I think Chris.
This feels like the classic, like he's due game, right? That's what it is. I think he's due after. I mean,
it's either that or get swept.
Right, he's a good player, and he hasn't been a good player, so I think he's due. Jakari's pulling the Ethan. So
to piggyback off what Jakar just said, just quickly, Middleton kind of got it together as the game went on. I think what was that in Game 1 that he started to kind of round into form, and I thought that was going to be something to build on in Game 2. So I think he may be onto something with this Game 3 stuff. I like Milwaukee tonight too.
And he's at home, so I mean, he's actually had good games on the road, but I mean. If there's ever a time, this is the time, correct? And I don't think Giannis can do much more than he just did.
You said it.
Right. So we'll see what he does here. Dave, what about you? What you got as your top prize pick for tonight?
I'm going to go away from the chalk guys a little bit and go to one of those role players who it seems like every game this whole postseason, he's kind of just done what I've expected him to do, and that's PJ Tucker. He's been killing me with these overs, like 5.5 points. I mean, I just think that's so friendly for him. And if you look at his last basically 5 or 6 games, I mean, that's pretty much it's been a lock. I mean, he's been at least 5 points. You see, pretty much every game. In both games against Phoenix, he had 7. So I think he can easily do that again. And to jump back to Middleton too, I think with the 5 assists is another nice number for Middleton that I like. So. Those are a couple plays, but I'm gonna take my guy PJ over 5.5 points. I mean, he hits a couple threes and he's right there. So that's where I'm looking tonight.
Yeah, he's always in the action, and like Greg was saying, I mean, their starters should play a lot of minutes tonight, unless they get into foul trouble or something like that. But Yeah, so for my prize pick tonight, so I'm actually bringing this up. I did give Dave my prize pick, what was it, like 10 or 11 a.m. today?
Yeah, it was early today.
And so I had Giannis over 6.5 free throws made. Free throws made, not just attempted. And that has since been bumped up to 7.5. So that's my lock from this morning. I don't see that particular part of the game disappearing. You know, he's going to get a lot of free throws. They're going to put him on the line. They don't really care about that. So I like him there. And funny enough, I actually, my other pick that would have been one, Dave was kind of giving me a hard time to get away from the Giannis thing since it got bumped up. I did have Chris Paul in a lot of lineups at 22.5 over on points. And he's the opposite. He's been bumped down to 21.5, I believe. So, you know, if you were forced to get off the Giannis thing because it got bumped, that's where I would have gone. Chris Paul over on the points. But, you know, what's up?
I want to ask Greg, you think Holiday can slow him down at all in this game?
I feel like he's going to get the you're talking about Chris Paul, right?
Yeah.
Specifically? Yeah. I think he's going to get in upwards of 20 field goal attempts. And Chris Paul has just been shooting so efficiently. He looks so good right now that I'm leaning in that direction, particularly as that dropped a point or so. So I think that Chris Paul will go over and Drew will not be able to handle him, to answer your question directly.
Well, and part of what it seems like to me, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you know, a lot of these guys in the playoffs that are scoring a lot of points, the defenses, when they adjust, they seem to be doubling, and the guys, a lot of times, they can't get back to their numbers. Chris Paul is a different animal because he finds his spots no matter what.
You're right.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and if he needs to do it at the free throw line, he'll do it there too. So
I don't see Chris Paul going off again tonight. I think he gets slowed down a little. I just don't see the urgency that Phoenix will play with. I think it'll be more so if Milwaukee comes out very slow, they will smell blood and try to put their foot on their neck. So I think that Phoenix will play hard, but I think they'll kind of concede in the game a little early. So that's why I don't see Chris Paul getting off as much.
Something I like is Chris Paul over three. He's at 2 3-pointers made. You look at his numbers the last 3 games, he's been over that each time. And that opens up everything for him in the mid-range. If the guys have to come out at him, close out hard, to him respecting the 3-point shot, which he struggled with early in the playoffs. And he's peaking at the right time in terms of long-distance shooting. So that's another play that I have also is Chris over 2 threes tonight.
It's funny you mentioned over on threes. I'm actually going to go in a different direction, but on the same category with a Phoenix player that's been awesome in the finals, and that's Mikael Bridges. He's hit 2 threes in the first game and 3 threes in the second game. So you would think he would hit over 2 threes tonight. But if you look at all the games prior, all the series prior, he's not that knockdown 3-point shooter. I expect him to come back to earth tonight on the road and go under 2 3-point field goals made. So that's another big one that I think is relatively easy money.
Yeah, no, I mean, and just to touch on the Chris Paul over threes thing, it's funny because a couple of days ago, well, for a bunch of games in a row, he was back down at like 1.5. And that, I was taking that all day long. You bump it up to where he has to get the 3, and I'm not saying, look, he'll take 7, 8, whatever the case is, but I don't love depending on that. He can do it so many different ways that if I'm going Chris Paul, I'm just going in a different direction there. That's all. I did actually. Like I said, I went with him points, and I had Jay Crowder. He's been over on rebounds like ridiculously, so I like him at 6 rebounds over.
I'll take DeAndre Ayton points over too. I think he comes back and have a strong game. He didn't play relatively well last game. I think he had 10 points, if I'm not mistaken. I think 15 over is not bad at all. I think he can easily accomplish that, especially when the way I see the Bucks playing tonight. I don't really see them, Giannis. I think Brook Lopez won't play. Like, he'll play heavy, but won't be that. So
He's full Ethan. So we had someone just step in for Ethan today is actually what happened here. That's awesome.
So, Aiden's been a little off lately. I think he needs to get going early. He's played better, like when he's got off to a good start, when he's had those sort of feeling out first quarters, he hasn't really picked it up. I'm looking for a big start from Aiton as well.
So a lot of Chris Paul assists tonight, we're talking.
Yeah. And I like Ayton over. This morning I liked under on Ayton's rebounds at 12.5. And the more that I've sat on that and looked at the box scores and kind of drawn it back, it's like that may be easy money that he's going to get over, because I feel like 12.5 rebounds he's hit over that in 3 of the last 5. So that's another one that I think is a pretty dependable matchup.
Well, and for Ayton, like at least on my end, it feels like he has bounced back from those down games. Like he actually has the next game had big numbers almost every single time. So I looked at that. I mean, Ayton, I think I have him on one of them over 40-something fantasy points, close to 40. I think I took him on the fantasy total. So I like that number too. I agree. I think he
41.5.
Yeah.
He Nation might not be happy with me on this last one. I'm going to throw in one more. Jay Crowder, I mean, he's kind of up and down with his 3-point shooting. I'm going to actually take him under 2.5 threes tonight. I just think he's been a little bit inconsistent. It's kind of feast or famine. As you see, he hit 3 in the last game, and then 0, and then 5, and then 0. So, I feel pretty safe that it could be an under 2.5. I mean, for him to hit 3, it's kind of a 50-50, but I think that's a decent toss-up. He might go under on that too, depending on the flow of the game, obviously.
He's got a lot of, like, in terms of fantasy, he's got a lot of Marcus Morris in him, right? Mm-hmm. To where he'll have, like, a couple bad games, and then he'll hit 7 threes or something stupid like that. So it's just hard to guess which game that's going to be right now. That's the problem. And we know Jay in the finals, so.
I like PJ. Yeah, I don't know. The stream guys keep kicking me out. It's like they're mad at me today. But I like PJ Tucker. I like PJ Tucker over one field 3-pointer made.
Yeah, that's pretty good too.
That's one of those picks actually that I always look at, and it's like he's consistent one, and you can't necessarily get it wrong, but it'll just wash as a one. So, but yeah, I mean it's safe. I feel like it's a safe one, and
for him to hit the point total to David's earlier point, like to David Eversall's earlier point, that that's 2 threes essentially. So like I think that you're on the money there too.
Yep. All right, so that's our we got everyone's prized picks for tonight, as well as our other top picks for tonight. Don't forget to use code 5 on PrizePicks.com or the app. Get that bonus. Again, joining me today, special guest Greg Sylvander, Jakari Givens, and my guy Dave Eversall. I am David Friedman. We will see you next time.